Good day, prospective students. My name is Dr. Theo. I will be talking to you about the Human Life Sciences program and also the Biomedical Mathematical Sciences. When we talk about human life sciences, we first of all look at the different levels of organization. Physiological sciences is the department that I am involved in, and we start with the level of the atom, which is then followed by the molecule. Molecules come together to create macromolecules, and organelles and cells. The cells come together to form tissue, which then cluster together to form organ systems, and then the organism, that is the final level of organization. So the study of physiology is focusing on the function of the human body. Now, how these different systems integrate with each other, and also why. The most important aspect of physiology is homeostasis or balance within these systems. And the moment there's an imbalance, we see a disease forming, which is also referred to as the pathophysiology. We have several divisions within the physiology sphere, which we apply, and this is also then referred to as applied physiology, where we teach students the basic physiology functions of the different organs, and then we apply these in, say, nutrition, exercise physiology, also molecular physiology, histology, but then we also focus our research that we can apply within the community, where different diseases are usually emanating from based on lifestyle changes. One very important part of physiological science is how we look at the body dimensions that we have, the different shapes. We have tall, small, large, body build, overweight, underweight. And these are all related to specific diseases that we, as the Physiological Sciences Department, investigate or research. Some of these diseases that we focus on is clustered together as the metabolic syndrome, for instance, where there's a very high incidence of certain types of cancers, and even depression, which is part of the psychology division, high blood pressure, and so on. So in order for you to qualify or get entry into the Human Life Sciences program, you have to have a National Senior Certificate or a School Leaving Certificate or University Exemption Certificates. The bachelor degree qualification, entry into the bachelor's degree, you have to have a mark of at least 4, which ranges between 50 to 59% in each of the 4 designated university admission subjects. For BSc specific, an average final mark of 65%, where biological sciences and mathematics 124 and physics 134, 154, a final mark of 60 is necessary for mathematics, or if you are planning to take mathematics 114 and 144 and physics 114 and 144, you need to obtain 70% or a 6 for mathematics. Biological sciences and physical sciences, you have to achieve a mark of 50% for physical sciences. So the Human Life Sciences program have different streams. So the first stream is the biology stream, and there you will follow Curriculum 1 or the adapted Curriculum 3. And the second stream is Biology with Psychology, where you will be following Curriculum 2. So the outcomes for these different streams, you have to obtain a basic knowledge of how the human body functions. You have to also distinguish between abnormalities within the human body, certain lifestyle influences such as nutrition and exercise that all affects how the human body functions. And then there are also popular physiological questions that forms part of the outcomes, which includes cloning, genetic manipulation, and stem cell therapies. And it's very important that the basic knowledge that is obtained through the physiological functioning mechanisms, you have to be able to integrate that with other subjects that is part of the program, including biochemistry, even psychology, and also genetic. Generic outcomes include to think critically about specific topics, retrieve, extract, and condense data, and learn to answer questions, communicate through presentations and also writings. Skills development, especially during the practicals and also later in the third year, to be able to draw up or design a protocol for research purposes. So the human body has different angles that we discover and also teach students. We start off with how the function of the human body is maintained, and the research that we usually include involves how the different mechanisms play a crucial role in how these functions can change and also be manipulated. Then the way in which stress affects the human body, that's the psychological part of the human body, how these functions are changed due to psychological stress and even physical stress. Lifestyle affects the human bodies quite severely, the way in which we eat, how you manage your activity level, and also the normal process of aging and injury, especially with skeletal muscle. So there are a vast array of options after completing a BSc Human Life Sciences degree. The pharmaceutical industry is quite lucrative for students to start off as a pharmaceutical representative. Very few students are selected at the university, at Stellenbosch University, to continue into the MBCHB or the medical degree program, and also other universities. Wits, for instance, has the postgraduate course in which you can complete in 4 years. Then locally at our university and also nationally, BSc Honours, Masters or PhD, where you can end up in a research laboratory lecturing and also can become an exercise physiologist after completing an MSc. Other postgraduate options include psychology, if you take the biology with psychology stream, and this can also be subdivided into the different study fields within psychology. It can either be clinical psychology or guidance psychology. You can become a secondary educator, completing a postgraduate education certificate for another year. Some students like to write and they can become journalists. And also for students that are interested in following a career in law, where patent attorneys is quite popular among certain students, and then a Masters of Business Administration. Thank you. The next program is the Biomedical and Mathematical Sciences program. The specific admission requirements for this General BSc is Afrikaans or English, where you have to obtain a 4, Physical Sciences a 4, and Mathematics 7. Your first year subjects is added up to 140 credits, includes applied mathematics, biology, chemistry, computer science, mathematics, and then science in context. Second year's modules include compulsory modules, biochemistry, biometry, physiology, mathematics, and then elective modules that you can choose from, applied mathematics, computer sciences, and mathematics. The third year modules are also divided into compulsory modules and elective modules. For compulsory, you have to have physiology, 3 different modules, and biomathematics, and the elective modules include applied mathematics, mathematics, and different type of more advanced type of mathematics, 378. So again, the same principles that we maintain in the Human Life Sciences program also applies for this particular program. The different aspects of how genes interfere or can adjust the physiology is very important for this particular program. And there's a vast majority of techniques, proteomics, genomics, that forms part of this particular program, where the function of the human body is analyzed through specific modules such as statistical methods, computer science, and also data engineering or data warehousing. A most popular part of this particular program is the drive towards a personal medicine, from gene mutations and patient data to treatment. This is becoming a very important aspect worldwide, where there's a shift from a generalized treatment modalities, shifting to a more personalized treatment modality. From physiology to mathematical sciences and computer sciences to biomedical engineering, there's a very large need for this, especially in South Africa, where biomedical engineering can contribute vastly to how the human body is actually functioning, and how this can actually contribute to the development of novel techniques to identify specific disease states. So some of the outcomes, again, there are academic outcomes that is focusing on the basic knowledge of the human body functioning, distinguishing between abnormalities in the human body, lifestyle influences, how nutrition and exercise interact to affect optimal function of the human body, and also discovering the role of cloning and genetic manipulation, also stem cell therapies. There's a specific academic outcome for this program to gain knowledge in foundational areas of mathematics and computer sciences, and communicate mathematics accurately, precisely, and effectively. Also to develop mathematical thinking and apply the mathematical knowledge and be able to solve mathematical problems with technology. Generic outcomes include the similar to the previous program, to think critically, retrieve, extract, and condense data, especially in this program, and also to learn and answer questions, communicate through presentations and writing, and also to develop specific types of skills and in general rare skills. So with the General BSc in Biomedical and Mathematical Sciences, you have quite a lot of career options, including the development and establishment of novel methods to identify diseases, ranging from exercise science, histology, molecular sciences, and also the application of specific mathematical modeling to aid in identifying or using novel methods to diagnose diseases and even treat. So the biomedical engineers can you can register as a biomedical engineer after the completion of an MSc in biomedical engineering, a data analyst and bioinformatician, where you apply technological resources to answer biological questions in life sciences, medicine, and health-related fields, develop the development of systems, databases, and methodologies to collect and analyze data for clinical or research purposes, and this can be basic research as well, and also work as part of a multidisciplinary team. A biomathematician uses mathematical, statistical, and computational methods to solve complex biological problems. The pharmaceutical industry can also benefit quite positively and significantly with biomedical engineering, and also you can pursue a career as a researcher or become an academic. If you need any further details of the Biomedical and Mathematical Sciences program, you can contact Professor Annemart Engelbrecht at the following details on the screen. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.